Jim Omobodo was the sports minister at the time. So when we had an award, I said I would like to have a sports minister like Alex Akinyele, not like Jim. Jim is an ajebota. Because when they score a goal, Jim goes, beautiful, beautiful. But when they score a goal, when Alex Akinyele, you know? And when I finished, his PA at the time came to me and said, I was embarrassing his boss and calling him an area boy. It's so rude, it's so this. But as we're still talking, Alex Akinyele came and said, you get me. You know? So I said, sir, there's a problem here that your PA was just telling me that I embarrassed you. And he said, PA, Kilomo. What does he know? I gave me his card. So, you know, the way, and sometimes you have to gauge the audience, which is something about a comedian. A comedian comes into an event to perform. The first thing you do is read your audience. Know what will work, know what will not work. Like when I go to the northern part to perform, and I am performing to these Hausa people, I know that there's some areas that you can't go to. Because there was one time that I was yabbing Hausa people, and my Kafi, who was the governor of Kaduna at the time, he said, Ali Baba, we paid you to come and perform. And there's a difference between freedom of speech freedom of movement. So we guarantee freedom of speech, but when you finish, your movement is your own problem, you know. And when I finished and I stepped out, one Hausa guy came to me and said, Ali Baba, your performance was good, but while you were performing, were you joking or you were serious? You know, and with a dagger, you don't know which way to go.
You know what just happened, back and forth, you know, equipment, sometimes, does it happen? Sometimes you're on no, for instance, you're on stage performing, and maybe there's some kind of hiccup. You know, sometimes it does happen.
And then you lose your punchline.
And you lose your punchline.
But what happens is that over the years, as a comedian, one thing you have is your killer jokes and your rescue jokes.
Oh, you have them.
You have them on standby, and nobody knows. So
it's
as you're
coach
performing,
442.
exactly. So as you're performing, if anything falls flat, you bring those killer jokes and mop up that failure, and people just think that you were just building up to this other joke. You know, because the thing is, it's more difficult to be a comedian than to be an actor or a performer, a musical performer. Because, for instance, when you come on stage, your reaction and appreciation is immediate. It's unlike a musical band that finished performing, maybe 2 days later somebody goes, oh, that band was really good. As a comedian, if you tell a joke, if it's not funny, people know immediately.
Whoa.
So it's more difficult. And spontaneity is like the holy grail of a stand-up comedian, which is why we're trying to push that now, so that you don't have to, because people are just jumping into the...
I was also going to ask you about that, as to how you sift, you know, wheat from chaff. When people, you know, pretend to be comedians, real comedians must be bothered.
Yes, we are. We're bothered. And the reason is because the economic dictates have pushed a lot of people into it. So anything that works now, everybody wants to go into it.
Are you going to set up a school, maybe?
We started monitoring and mentoring people one-on-one. Setting up a school is like setting up an organization that, you know, okay, let's monitor and organize our people properly. What people really need to know is that it is more difficult to be a comedian than to be any other person else, because your ability to be funny on the spot is necessary. So what people are doing now is that you just go buy CDs of Night of 1,000 Laughs from volume 1 to volume 20, cram like 30 of the jokes, and you're a comedian.
Tell us more about spontaneity.
Spontaneity is something that I created. It's like a reality show, but it's a talent hunt, really. And we're teaching comedians how to be funny without being prepared. So what we're saying is that if we write different things, topics in a piece of paper, on a piece of paper, when you pick it, whatever you pick, you crack a joke about it.
So that's it.
But speaking more, you know, out of comedy though, as a comedian, when you look at your country, are you happy about where we are?
No, we're not. We're not happy. But the thing is, it's a function of our system collapsing totally. You know, entertainment industry is in such a state that is a reflection of how bad policies and politics have made it. There was a time we had a meeting and where we told Mr. President, the president at the time, good luck, that we actually don't need handouts. What we need is monies directed at making policies and policing those policies, so that the entertainers could make money from their own creativity. And some other people went to him and said, no, just give us the money. We know what to do. So there's nothing you can do when you create. It's like having a bucket that has 12 holes. Whatever you pour into it will leak out. So, and what's the leak? Piracy. Until you deal with that issue, there's nothing. Amaka Igwe and I said this to the president at the time, and they shut us down. And it was live on television. And 4 years after, when he was running again, I asked him the same question. I said, sir, I told you 4 years ago that we do not need money for empowerment, because if you develop the entertainment industry by giving us money, we'll produce movies and put it in the market. And if the pirates have not been tackled, they will just take one DVD and duplicate. So for instance, you spend about 60 to 65 million to produce a movie. A pirate needs 5 million to duplicate that same movie. He hasn't incurred any cost. And he begins to sell those CDs. He'll make more money than you. There's a joke we share amongst ourselves of some Igbo guy that met Two-Face at a club and bought drinks and everything for everybody, and we're all very happy. Hennessy and the rest of them were all happy drinking. And Two-Face was asking, who is that guy? And one guy said, oh no, he's an Alaba pirate. Of course, the guy is spending the money he has made that you guys did not make. And so the policies should be how to tackle that, because AY made over 250 million from his movie, 30 Days in Atlanta. And if every other movie producer makes that kind of money, who needs the government? We need policies, we need platforms. Gone are the days where everybody trooped to National Theatre and the NTA, because those were the only platforms that were open to all of us.
Do you think those policies will come in this administration?
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
You're confident?
Yes, we had a meeting with the president some 3 months back, where he said he wants entertainment to produce about 20% of our GDP. And how do we do that? It's fighting piracy and providing platforms.
Interesting. Well, that's the show today. Of course, I have to thank Ali Baba for coming on and helping everyone. Just relax, calm down, take off your critical hats, relax. It's Christmas. Just take it easy out there on the roads when you drive, because I'll be there soon. So just relax. Well, that's it today. Thank you all for watching. We won't be here tomorrow. Don't worry about that.
We're off the stands
tomorrow. We're off the stands tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain also.
Well, thank you so much. It's still Christmas. Do ensure that you have a merry one, even if you're looking for petrol.
For 2016, watch out for the new comedian, and that's me. Honestly. Many thanks.
How many days to 2016?
I'll leave just Chamberlain and Malcolm here. 2016, from January 1st, I'll be the next big thing in the world of comedy. And I'm Sulaiman.
Practice it here.
He wants to make 230 million too on his own. That would be interesting.